I am the girl gardener and this is my cottage garden. I don't live in a cottage, it's just a cottage garden and it's 6 years in the making. Just mowed the lawn and it looks fabulous, ever so lovely. And I don't know if you're going to see this here. I can never get my camera to focus. See the spider? It's blurry. Oh, sorry. I didn't realise I touched the web. But it is definitely spider season here, so they are huge. He's scurrying off anyway. And I've got these gorgeous osteospermum. And the nasturtiums have taken over this area. They've completely taken over. And it looks gorgeous. But I have got some lobelia and aubratia that's now been completely covered up. And I've got my Belfast sink pond that is not getting any sunlight now. And I have this little water feature in there, so that's not working because everything's covering it over. But yeah, when I mow the lawn, I like to have nice clean edges. So I get the strimmer and I strim around everything first. And I've also done it here around this middle bed. I trim all the edges and then I go in with the lawnmower and do the rest. So it looks absolutely fabulous. I've got these things just kind of placed here to stop Garfield from using it as a toilet. The tomatoes are doing so well. They look absolutely fabulous. I've picked all the red ones, that's why you don't see any red here. You can see. This is Roma. All of these ones are Roma. And here is the money maker. I just need to pick these ones and get those in the fridge. Oh, one's fallen down here. One's just fallen down, that's fine. I'll show you the greenhouse one. And here on my greenhouse, this is the best year that I've had when it comes to these tomatoes. This is the Pour Debut. Forgive me if I've not pronounced it correctly. They are doing absolutely wonderful. They are huge, huge tomatoes. They're beefsteak tomatoes. And then I've got some more Roma ones here on the side. I must say, my black cherry tomatoes have not done so good this year. I've got some here and some just up there. But overall, they haven't produced very well. Normally we get so many of the black cherry tomatoes. We're just picking and just eating them as they are. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. Some days you'll have really good harvests and some years that you won't. That's how big it is. And I don't have particularly big or small hands. I'm just very average. This can come off. This doesn't need to be on here. Nope. Yeah, it's fabulous. Absolutely amazed with beautiful harvest this year. And the basil is doing really gorgeous as well. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful basil. I want to have a go at making pesto. Small amount just there. And then some more on this side. I mainly planted it kind of more of a companion planting type thing. Obviously with the intentions to use it as well. Because it's just done so beautifully, I will have a go at the pesto. There we go. And then I've got these growing in this bed. This is actually my strawberry bed. And usually what happens is when I'm doing my seed sowing in spring, any seeds that don't work out, anything that doesn't work out and doesn't grow, I tip out the seed trays and just use the soil for something else. So whatever I was growing that clearly did not germinate or do well is now growing, and now I don't know what it is because I don't have labels. So whatever this is, I'm very grateful for it. We've got a few of the fruits down here. And then I've got another one growing here. I ended up just sticking this obelisk in. It was not here before. It had all my sweet peas on it. And then I took it out for this purpose. It's great. And then there's a couple here as well. So I'm just going with the flow when it comes to that. But really happy, whatever it is. And this area needs a bit of work. Unfortunately, I've not really made good use of any of these beds because every time I sowed seeds, the seedlings would get eaten. So this is where things like my broccoli, kohlrabi, cabbages, all of that would have gone. I also sowed so many spinach leaves that ideally I would have also maybe used one of the beds for, and none of my seeds grew. I've got multiple packs of spinach from different places and I had no germination on them, which is, I mean, I don't know why. I couldn't say why. But yeah, I need to do a bit of repair work. We've got just over there, it's ending up becoming a bit of a dumping ground, but just over there, some of the wood is rotting away, so I'll have to replace some of it. I think I'm going to do the burning on it again, just to kind of refresh it all up. I mean, you can tell I'm no carpenter, I'm no expert when it came to any of this stuff. I was just doing what I was enjoying, and it worked, but yeah, it's looking a little bit worse for wear, so I have another compost bin as well that I need to add to the other ones. And I'm also doing a little clear up of this part of the garden. This is the back of the garden, so you can see the rest of the garden from here. So this is the back of the garden, this is where the water butts are, the compost bins, you know, all of that. And I need to do a clear up. I've got these bags here. They are full of wood chips, which will go on the pathway for the veg section. So, you know, just here. They will go along on that pathway area. So I'll make time to do that. And honestly, I've got things in here that is just junk, broken things. It's quite embarrassing, but you know, that's the reality. A lot of places have a bit of a mess. So I'm just having a clear out. I'm going to put a few things on Facebook Marketplace to get rid of them. These I want to use, so I have to put them away in the shed. I've just got random things that I've just kind of thrown here at the back for lack of time. Lots of materials that we use for various things, DIY projects. But yeah, I'm just going to start sorting all of that out and make better use of this little shed. We got this for free. One of Mr. Girl Gardener's friends was just giving it away, getting rid of it, and so they dismantled it for him and collected it, and we just put it back together. So yeah, really handy, really nice little space to have to keep things dry. So yeah, I'm just going to be doing that, but I don't think I'm going to film it because it's a really awkward space and doesn't look like much progress has been made, but we have got rid of a bunch of junk, rubbish. I've bought my green waste bin here. We opted not to go for green waste collection because they charge extra for it, and I thought, well, we pay council tax, it should all be included for everybody, but it isn't. But anyway, I opted out, and I mean, I compost everything anyway, so you know, everything is recycled. So I've bought that here so we can probably store a few things in there. Done a bit of a clear out in the shed as well, not too much, but it keeps raining. So right now it looks absolutely gorgeous, sunny, and it's lovely and warm, but we keep getting absolute downpours. I mean, ridiculous. I'll put a clip in of the video that I made of the rain, but right now I need to just go and collect some tomatoes, and from here as well, from the outside. I think I might have mentioned that earlier, because they are ripe and they're ready to be picked. And I do like to switch activities. I kind of get bored of doing just one thing, so yeah, that's what I'm going to get on with. There we go, look at that, they're looking great. I also cut down the 2 sunflowers that I had in the garden, and I've left them there to dry out so that I can keep the seeds. I'll give some of them to the chickens, and then the rest of them will hopefully grow next year, and we'll have a better year for sunflowers. Look at this absolute whopper of a tomato. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever grown a tomato this big before. It's amazing. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I love it. Look at that. I'm just going to pick some more. I'm so pleased with that. Look at it. I'm so proud. So proud. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous and shiny. Oh, and I'm so easily distracted. This is my little seed sowing result that I did. A couple of seeds haven't germinated actually, but that's okay. Sowed them in the koya coins, the broccoli, kohlrabi and the cauliflower, and they've already germinated. So once they do get a little bit bigger, it's a little bit leggy, but that's okay. Anyway, once they get a bit bigger, then I can plant those out into the beds. Very excited about those. These are the black cherry tomatoes. These are great. You don't need to put them into cooking or anything, you can just eat them as they are. They're very, very juicy. I mean, I haven't gone for like, you know, super kind of fancy varieties or anything like that. You know, it is simply this year, my aim was growing for food. And, you know, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Oh wow. Alright, and here is our little collection from the polytunnel. So we have crystal apple, cucumber, we have, I think these are market more, I can't remember, but I've just picked them for now as they are. I think they do get longer than that, but this is fine. And then lots of peppers, and I've got a couple of padron peppers as well. Padron peppers have not done very well. I also pruned a bunch of leaves, but the padron peppers have not done so well this year. Normally we get quite a lot, but still grateful. And this is today's harvest. Really pleased with that. Really so grateful. So all that we have now on the plants, majority is green. I just put this umbrella up while I was picking up the rest of the tomatoes. So yeah, it's looking good. Lots of green ones left, so they can ripen up now. I'm going to take these inside the house. Now I had to do a bit of repair work on this arch that I have here. So similar to my rose arch, the bottom rusted and it was leaning quite far over, and with all the wind that we've got, I had to quickly try and save it. So let me just show you what I've done. Right, so here we are. So I've got some of these lovely courgettes growing. I've got my pumpkin, which is really ready to pick, to be honest, but I'm just holding off a little bit longer. Here's the arch. And all I did was I used some of the materials that I already had in my shed. So it's these kind of old, kind of cheap polytunnel. Hey Garfield! Cheap polytunnel poles. He heard me talking, so he's come out of his hiding place. Hello, hi baby. How are you? Yeah. 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 Anyway, so what I did was I used a mallet to like hammer them right down into the ground and then just tie them. I should probably use something a bit better than this string because we've got sort of 50-mile-an-hour winds today, and I hope you can hear me with the wind. But yeah, it seems to have done the trick for now, and I think it looks pretty good. Amongst all of the other jobs that I'm currently doing, I also wanted to take a bit of time to take some cuttings from this grapevine that I have at the back of my garden. The story behind this is that we have this grapevine at the back of the garden. It's very, very established grapevine, and it was planted many, many years ago. And I think perhaps when it was planted all those years ago, it was probably in the right place and it probably did really, really well. However, since the trees and everything have grown, it's almost in complete shade. It doesn't really get much sun and therefore doesn't really produce a lot of grapes. I'll show you the kind of grapes that it produces. Got a bushel just here. These are the kinds of grapes that we get from it. They're very small. The bushels themselves can grow quite big, but the actual grapes are very, very tiny, and I don't know how this one's going to taste. Not bad. Anyway, it's not in a very good place, so I'll give it. Here you go. So anyway, story behind that is that my mother-in-law had asked me if she could have cuttings from this grapevine so that she could grow it into the garden. I was like, well, to be honest, they don't really grow very well, but that's fine. So I took some cuttings and I rooted them for her. Sorry. Woo! Very, very blustery. I had to pause you for a second, but anyway, so I rooted some cuttings for her, gave them to her, and she planted them out into her garden. And she also asked if I could give her one of those rose arches that I've got, so I got one for her, and she made it all up, and it was so wonderful to see her grapevine that came from this one is thriving. This year there were so many grapes coming off that thing. We picked some, we tried them, they were beautiful and sweet, and honestly I love it when people ask me, oh, can you send me seeds, can I have this, can I have that, and then they don't plant them. So when you get someone who says, you know, could I have a cutting, can you please get me an arch or something, and then they do it, it makes me so happy. So yeah, she did that, and it's so amazing, her grapevine. She also asked me to get her another arch, and then she put that next to it and it grew over that one as well, and it's incredible. And it really inspired me to sort mine out and maybe move it. I can't dig it up, of course. I don't know how many years it's been there. It's very well established into the ground. So what I'm going to do is take my own cuttings. I don't know where that cutting is. I think it's just blown away somewhere. I'm going to take a couple of cuttings, root them, and move them maybe further down towards the front of the garden. Ideally, I would like to put them right where the patio is and grow them on the wall. That's just kind of behind you down there. However, when we get the pool out for the summer, it's going to be in the way and my son will just tear the whole thing up. So anyway, I think I found another location that might be better. So this is the location here, at the side of the house. You can see I've got the polytunnel on this side, the greenhouse is just over there. And I was thinking of maybe doing some kind of half arc, starting from the wall and then going over into the bed here, or into this kind of vegetable area here, and then planting the grape into the soil here, and it would grow up the arch. That's kind of like a rough idea, rough plan that I had. Just thinking about it right now, but I think the main thing is just to get some cuttings rooted first before I do anything else. I think the next few weeks will just be me kind of doing some plans, but yeah, that's the kind of idea that I had. I mean, I've got so many things rattling around up there, I can't keep up with myself, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. So I've taken this very, very long piece off that we don't need, and it's something like that you have to have a cutting that has 3 of the nodes on. So this is very, very long, and I can get quite a few cuttings out of them, and that will give me a better chance of getting something to root for me to plant into that area if I choose to go ahead with it. So here we are. I've taken some of the cuttings. I thought I had hit record so I could show you where I was cutting them. Unfortunately, I hadn't pressed record properly, so sorry if it was known. But I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4. And so what I'm going to do is just remove the leaves. No, never mind, I'll just do a voiceover. Normally the correct way to take grapevine cuttings is in late winter, and even then it's from dormant canes, not fresh canes the way I'm doing it. I'm just going by what I did the last time I took cuttings and that worked well, so I'm just trying to replicate that. You're also supposed to soak the canes in water for a few hours before planting them, but mine are not dry canes, they are fresh like I've just said, so I'm just going to put them straight into the soil as they are. You also need to leave about 3 to 4 buds on each cutting so that you've got a good length of stick. Honestly, if this is not the way that you do it, that's totally fine. Please don't come at me in the comments. This is exactly what I did last time, and I know that sometimes you'll do things one year and it works out, and then another year and it won't work out at all, but you know, time will tell whether this will actually work or not. I am always open to try new ways of doing things. The plant pot that I'm using is quite big, but I did have another plant in there planted previously, but it died in the heat wave. So I've removed that and I'll just be using that pot. It is well draining soil, and I will water it once I've put the cuttings in. I'll check up on these cuttings later down the line, perhaps late winter or early spring, to see if they've taken and rooted or not, and I will also update you on how they get along. But that's all I've got time for in this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like and a comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.